Ayatollah Khomeini, Shiite leader of Iran, frowns down upon the streets of South Beirut, a chilling reminder of the Tehran hostage crisis. It's here in this sprawling neighborhood close to the airport that the hostages are being held, scattered somewhere in the Shiite fundamentalist heartland in as many as 8 different locations. A rescue mission would be impossible. In the city centre, units from the Shiite 6th Brigade of the Lebanese Army staged a show of force right past the Commodore Hotel, which houses most of the many reporters covering this crisis. As always here, someone was firing a gun. This time, just to clear the traffic. At the airport, Captain Testrake and his 2-man crew began their second week aboard the hijacked aircraft, the gunmen with them reading newspapers in the cockpit and training binoculars on reporters and on the control tower, suspicious all the time. The controller informing them of all airport movements, striking up something of a personal relationship.
There's some, you can tell about it, as if we are close friends on the frequency. You can tell, but most of the time they can be very, very nervous on us.
American TV networks here in force ferry their latest news reports in charter aircraft across the Mediterranean to Cyprus. The news transmitted directly from there to the American people. Newsmen train their cameras on the aircraft all the time, sweating today in the burning sun.
Late this afternoon, about 1,200 members of the extreme fundamentalist Shiite group, the Hezbollah, marched from their mosque to Beirut airport a mile away, chanting anti-American and anti-Israeli slogans, beating their chests as they went. They flooded onto the tarmac, and suddenly at the top of a set of mobile airplane passenger steps, 3 men, black hoods over their heads, introduced as the original hijackers. They shrieked at the crowd, "We did it for our brothers being held by the Israelis. We did it because America and Israel are enemies of Lebanon." After 15 minutes or so, the crowds giving thanks to their God, the men were bundled into a car and whisked away. Another bizarre twist in this extraordinary affair. Vernon Mann ITN, Beirut.
Even by Beirut standards, this really is a most bizarre occasion. Here we are in an upstairs lounge at the airport, actually overlooking the hijacked TWA plane, gunmen and TWA crew still on board. And in the middle of the room here, a table, white tablecloth and all, cakes on the table, places set for 40 people.
For a moment here, there were thoughts that this might be the end of the affair, that the Swiss or the Algerians had pulled off some negotiating miracle. But that was not to be. Gunmen suddenly entered the room, pushing their way through the milling crowd of newsmen, the hostages following almost unnoticed behind them.
Due to the order of Mr. Berry, who is playing the role of mediator between the hijackers and the American government, he insists to have such a press conference, at least so they can discuss with you and tell you about their treatments and how they are feeling now and what are their feelings and what they would like to say for the American government.
My name is Alan Conwell. I am from Houston, Texas. I have been elected by my fellow hostages that were taken on Flight 847 and are held as hostage here in Beirut. With me tonight is Thomas Cullens, Arthur Toga, Peter Hill, and Mr. Vicente Garza. The purpose of our agreeing to talk with you tonight is primarily involved with assuring our families, our fellow countrymen, and our loved ones and friends that we are in good health, that we are being cared for. And in view of that, I would like to read to you a list of names of all of the people that I have personally met with today to verify their condition and their general well-being.
The world's media crowded in. People at the back complained they couldn't see. The gunman pulled photographers clear of the table. Cameramen climbed onto the table. Scuffles broke out. Finally, the Shiite organizer had enough. He climbed onto the table himself to say that was it. The conference was over.
Okay, finish.
The militiamen surrounded the hostages and aimed for the exit. Amused perhaps with the enthusiasm of the Western media, one BBC reporter grabbed by the hair and thrown to the ground. The photographer punched him in the stomach. Other fights all around. Then the hostages were gone, but only to a room nearby, where selected representatives from the American network were allowed to talk with them. The TV networks were assured that all the hostages were well, were being good treated and in good health, but still very much hostages, and no inkling yet of an end to their ordeal. Vernon Mann, News at 10, Beirut.
NUJ, 2 down there.